on all of our socials, then you're missing out. Download our app and find us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and on the web at KBLA 1580.
That's right.
Again, you can find all of our socials at KBLA 1580.
We've got a lot to talk about.
By the way, if you miss any of our weekday shows in real time, you can always catch up by checking out the podcasts of your favorite shows at your leisure. At KBLA Talk 1580, we've got your black.
Got your beer.
Keep following the leader.
Oh my God.
Follow the leader. Follow the leader. Follow the leader. Follow the leader. Follow the leader.
God, I thought I loved you so. God, I thought I loved you so.
And it is the Friday edition of Areva Martin Real Time. Avi Bernard here with you. Let's get you caught up real quick, and then we'll finish our conversation before we start our next conversation. A lot to talk about, as always, here on KBLA. Robert F. Kennedy Jr.'s independent presidential campaign says it has ended its contract with a consultant who was seen on video encouraging people to vote for RFK Jr. in order to, quote-unquote, get rid of Biden, even if that means electing former President Donald Trump. Video of the consultant Rita Palma's comments had energized Democrats online as they said it confirmed their accusations that the purpose of Kennedy's campaign is to hand the White House back to Trump over President Joe Biden. The number of young adults who choose tubal ligation and vasectomies as birth control jumped abruptly after the Supreme Court overturned Roe v. Wade in 2022 and has continued to rise, according to new research. The paper published today by the American Medical Association is the first to focus specifically on the contraception choices of men and women ages 18 to 30 after the Supreme Court's decision in Dobbs versus Jackson Women's Health Organization ended the constitutional right to abortion. Donald Trump will become the first former president to stand trial in a criminal case next week, and he'll do so against the backdrop of a presidential campaign in which he's the presumptive Republican nominee. Jury selection begins Monday in New York City, and the trial is expected to last 6 to 8 weeks. Manhattan District Attorney Alvin Bragg charged Trump with 34 counts of first-degree falsifying business records, which is a low-level felony. Trump faces a maximum of 4 years behind bars if he's convicted. The presidential candidate of Ghana's ruling party said yesterday that he's opposed to the practice of homosexuality, a stance he promised to maintain if elected in December. The president faces pressure to sign into law one of Africa's most severe anti-LGBTQ bills, which has been criticized by rights advocates and the United Nations. His main presidential rival has also made similar comments. In the West African nation, gay sex is already punishable by up to 3 years in prison, and LGBTQ people routinely face harassment and abuse. This comes just a week after Uganda's constitutional court last Wednesday upheld an anti-gay law that allows the death penalty for quote-unquote aggravated homosexuality, despite widespread condemnation from rights groups and others abroad. The president of Uganda signed that bill into law last May. The law is supported by many in the East African country, where some see it as one of our earlier callers said, behavior that is imported from abroad and not a sexual orientation. President Joe Biden announced today that his administration is canceling $7.4 billion in student loans for 277,000 borrowers. The White House said the latest round of relief helps borrowers who are enrolled in saving on a valuable education repayment plan, as well as those in income-driven repayment or public service loan forgiveness plans. With its latest move, the administration has now canceled $153 billion with a B for 4.3 million Americans. About 1 in 4 U.S. teachers said their school went into a gun-related lockdown during the 2022-2023 school year, according to findings from a new Pew Research Center poll. The teachers told the research center that they experienced lockdowns because of a gun or suspicion of a gun at their school, with around 15% saying it happened once during the year and 8% saying it happened more than once at their same school. Donald Trump made a visit to a Chick-fil-A in Atlanta on Wednesday in his latest bid to pander to black voters, but not all the employees looked thrilled by his visit. In fact, some of them looked downright concerned, but that's not to say that no one did praise Donald Trump, because one employee said, quote, "I don't care what the media tells you, Mr. Trump, we support you," quote unquote. That was a black woman who said that too. There's a video of it. It's disturbing. All right, so let's get this real quick. Howard, you've been holding on the line for a long time. I really appreciate you, and sorry to have you on hold, but we had so many people calling at the same time. So, Howard, what's on your mind?
Not a lot. Hi, Mr. Avi. Hi, Mr. Chris. Hi, Mr. Andy. I just want to touch on the lunacy Trump for a little bit. How these people can look at this guy and think that he's that. This man is going to be in a courtroom for 6 to 8 weeks in front of a jury, in front of a judge.
Mm-hmm.
Are these GOP members that are going to sit by him and hold his hand? Like Speaker Mike Johnson supposedly went to Mar-a-Lago today. What was they talking about? If I get locked up or in prison, are you going to send me to commissary? So, I mean, this is funny because these people want to look up to this dude. This guy is an alleged criminal. So if y'all want to learn how to be a criminal, then I guess y'all can hold on to him. But I can tell you this with absolutely certainty. If people think this man is who Jesus or whatever, look at my profile on my Facebook page, Howard Graves Jr., and we'll find out who it resembles Jesus more than anybody else. So that dude is a con artist. He's a loser. And he's about to get shown. Everybody's going to find out what's going on because it's all going to be out in the open. And I'm going to tell you, I'm making a prediction. It's going to be damning. And so I just wanted to talk about that, the lunacy Trump. Mm-hmm. He's a lunatic. And so it is what it is. And I appreciate y'all time. Thank y'all.
No, we appreciate you, Howard. Thanks for being for always being there with us, hanging with us. I always appreciate you joining us and calling in. And I agree. I do think it will be damning. I think there will be a lot that comes out during the trial, even though most of it is known. I think it will be damning, and he'll be in a trial, as you said, Howard, 6 to 8 weeks. But that's just this time. That's this trial. And hopefully, though, his other trials, at least one of them will happen before the election. It might not, but I'm still holding out that hope. But Christopher Walton, just wrapping up our conversation, there was so much I wanted to talk to you about, but that conversation just kind of took over everything. I wanted to talk to you about OJ. I wanted to get your thoughts, and so it just real quick, man. If you can just tell me, do you have any thoughts about the passing of OJ and the lack of a display of, I guess, condolences and or sorrow from people that knew him?
It's an interesting situation. I was in first grade when that whole situation happened with OJ. When he came to knowledge for me, I remember him more from Naked Gun, 33rd and the Third, than I do, from his football career. But it's a very delicate situation for a lot of folks, I guess. The truth is still out there somewhere, as has been said, and we don't know. The jury decided that he was not guilty, and you gotta let that be. But he was a tortured soul in America's celebrity fandom, and I hate to see the way he went out, which is a prime example to really bring up right now. Please, everybody, go get your prostate checked and examined. Please go and make sure you are getting cancer tests regularly, because it's real, especially among black men. We don't always go to the doctors fairly regularly because either sometimes we don't have health insurance. It may not be the best health insurance. If you look at states across the South where they never took the Medicaid expansion, you don't even have access. But get yourself checked out. Get your prostate examined. But yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And actually, Mark Lamont Hill had a really great take on this. He posted on Twitter. I'm not going to say X because that's a stupid name, but he posted on Twitter. He said, quote, "O.J. Simpson was an abusive liar who abandoned his community long before he killed 2 people in cold blood. His acquittal for murder was the correct and necessary result of a racist criminal legal system, but he's still a monster, not a martyr. So I think that that kind of sums it up for me too. You know, his acquittal for murder was necessary, and it's hard for people to understand why that acquittal was so important for black people. It's because of, as Mark Lamont Hill said, because of the racist criminal legal system. But he wasn't some good guy, and he was found civilly liable later on in his life, but he never, I guess, was brought to justice according to the family of those who were lost. So, Chris, I appreciate you hanging out with us longer than expected. It got hot around here, but we needed your perspective, especially today. So thank you so much for hanging with us.
Absolutely. You take care.
All right, you too, my brother. When we come forward, we're going to be talking to hip-hop artist Reapplied Poetry. I can't wait to have this conversation. He's also, one thing I like about his music is that it has a message, and we're going to hear some of his tracks when we come forward right here on KBLA Talk 1580.
She's the real deal in real time. You're listening to Areva Martin in real time on KBLA Talk 1580.
I have a secret. I use Secret Whole Body Deodorant because more than just my armpits stink.
Oh, can I use it where my bra rubs under my...
Oh, yeah.
And what about down there? You know, my...
Totally. 4 out of 5 gynecologists would recommend it. So I tried it, and now I get 72 hours of freshness from my pits to my...
Ooh, I love that it's a spray.
Me too. And it comes in sticks and creams too. Go get your Secret Whole Body Deodorant.
When you use Bounce dryer sheets and your clothes look amazing, it's the sheet. Less static in your life? Yeah, it's the sheet. Smelling fresher than ever? It's the sheet. Oh, so soft fabric? Ooh la la. It's the sheet. Less wrinkles on your clothes? You know it's the sheet. Bounce dryer sheets. More freshness, more softness. Less static, less wrinkles. It's the sheet.
Sometimes we lose, sometimes we win. Sometimes we try to fit it all in. Sometimes we don't know what's in store. Sometimes we find what we're looking for. Sometimes we're rolling easy and free. Sometimes 1 and 1 makes 3. So much to love along this ride. That's why Nationwide is on your side.
Nationwide Mutual Insurance Company and Affiliates, Columbus, Ohio.
We're not just a thermometer recording and broadcasting popular opinion. We aim to be a thermostat, transforming the conversation about climate justice in our community. This is KBLA Talk 1580. Talk 1580. KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580 believes in community empowerment through the arts. Tia Chucha Central Cultural is on a mission to transform community in the Northeast San Fernando Valley and beyond through ancestral knowledge, the arts, literacy, and creative engagement. The Northeast San Fernando Valley has a population of about 500,000, the size of the city of Oakland, yet it has no bookstores, art galleries, or full-fledged cultural spaces until Tia Chuchas opened its doors in 2001. Founded by renowned poet and activist Luis Rodriguez, Tia Chuchas Cultural Center provides a year-round free or low-cost arts and literacy bilingual intergenerational programming in mural painting, music, dance, writing, visual arts, healing art sessions, and healing talking circles. Activities also include Mexica, Aztec dance, indigenous cosmology, philosophy, and 2 weekly open mic nights, one in Spanish, the other in English. In addition, they host author readings, film screenings, and art exhibits. To express yourself, heal yourself, attend an event, or volunteer, please visit www.tiachucha.org. That's TIACHUCHA.org. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
There's no time like the present. Let's get back to more of Areva Martin in real time on KBLA Talk 1580.
And it's hour number 2 of Areva Martin in real time. Avi Bernard here with you every Friday from 4 to 6 p.m. Pacific. And appreciate you listening, whether you are joining us on 1580 a.m. here in Los Angeles or on the free KBLA app, or you're listening to and watching us on YouTube, you can absolutely watch us on YouTube. And before we get to my guest, I do want to highlight some late breaking news today. The former longtime interpreter for Los Angeles Dodgers star Shohei Ohtani has surrendered to authorities and later appeared in U.S. District Court this afternoon. Ippei Mitsuhara surrendered to law enforcement today and was released shortly after on a $25,000 bond. He exploited his personal and professional relationship with Ohtani to plunder more than $16 million from Ohtani's accounts. And in an in-depth dive into Mitsuhara's gambling history, he won $140 million, about $142 million from his bets, and he lost about $180 million, 181. So about $40 million in the red that Mitsuhara found himself, and that is just absolutely bonkers. But enough of that. Let's bring in a hip hop artist. He is my brother, and I mean that literally, my actual brother. He is Reapplied Poetry, a hip hop artist. Reapplied Poetry, welcome to the show.
Oh man, thanks for having me. This is great.
Yeah, it's absolutely a pleasure to have you, man. You've been making music for years now, and you've really kind of turned up the heat lately. I think you either just released or I think you just released your second album, right?
Yeah, I just released the second album, and I've started releasing singles for my third album coming up soon here, actually.
Yeah, so you've been a machine lately, man. You've been just kind of coming up with, you've just been staying in the studio nonstop. But and we're gonna check out one of your tracks in a second. Actually, my favorite track of yours so far. But before we do that, I just kind of wanted to just get your kind of your hip hop origin story. Like how you got involved in hip hop.
Yeah, gosh, long story. So I mean, we grew up in Los Angeles, and yeah, hip hop was everywhere around us in the late '80s, early '90s. Mm-hmm. We're not like street kids necessarily, but it was all around us, and you couldn't help but notice. And it's just part of the culture that that we kind of grew up in. And it's just one of those things where you'll hear music. I've listened to music my whole life, obviously, but I don't think any music really does the same thing to me as hip hop music has done. Mm-hmm. And hip hop culture also just kind of it's all over the world, and you see it everywhere. Just the influence that it's had. And I think just the bounce, the feel, the way it just makes you contort your lips when you hear something nasty, you're like, oh man, that's so cool. Mm-hmm. And ever since I was a kid, I felt that. I remember hearing the Beastie Boys when I was in like third grade. Like, oh my God, what is this? Mm-hmm. That might have been the beginnings of it for me.
So how did you? I mean, I know a lot of people can relate to what you're saying right now. But how did you get involved in actually making the music? Because like me, you're a dad. You got a job. You're an independent artist. You're an underground artist. So how did you get into the actual making of music?
Yeah, well, so in high school, I met a guy real heavy into hip hop culture. Producing, beatboxing, rapping, writing, everything. And he just I was writing poetry from the time I was a kid, and he kind of saw what I was doing. Like, hey, you could just write to a beat. That's what I do, and kind of see if you can keep a flow with your vocal. And I don't think that him and I were like on the same page really. Mm-hmm. Probably still one of the dopest MCs I've ever known. But yeah, just a real street guy, and that's never really been me. Mm-hmm. And I feel like from high school till now, what's changed really is I wasn't really always on a positive thing, and that kind of changed in my 30s. And I think, yeah, I became reapplied, I think, with fatherhood.
Okay. Yeah. I mean,
that's
oh, go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, that's kind of like what shifted things for me. I think a lot of us there's a change in a lot of guys that happens when if we conceive and become dads, we go one way or the other way. And I moved from Los Angeles to Phoenix in 2005, and in 2005 and below in Los Angeles, I was kind of on a dead end road.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that my career and my family out here really made a man out of me, and that's really what made me reapplied. And I just figured my reapplied poetry just kind of became like my moniker. It it explains who I am and what I do, like where I'm at.
Yeah, man, and I obviously was there, when you went through a lot of those struggles in your early adulthood and your adolescence, and you really did completely turn the page, man, and you just you're doing amazing things now, and I love to see it. So super proud of you, man.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, for sure.
Thanks.
But I do want to play this track, and you can introduce it for us. On the Block.
Oh, On the Block, yeah, it was produced by this guy Brian Paul, very very talented producer, and features another hip hop artist that I like a lot named D Field out of Pittsburgh. And just had that feel for it. I heard the track. It was actually my first feature artist. I've had other artists, but never like a hip hop artist on a track of mine until this. And so it was kind of a milestone for me. I liked it a lot, what we did with this. I sent it to him. He heard it, he felt it, and he got it back to me quick. And his group actually did the mix and master on it. No Company Music Group is what it's called. And yeah, man, I like what they did a lot. I like these guys. I hope to work with them again sometime.
Yeah, for sure. So here it is. It's called On the Block by Reapplied Poetry featuring D Field.
Say.
Chose where we be now, how we stayed the course, nobody knows. Cause there's no future in the street life, that's the way it goes. We either escape the hood or die there, so the data shows. Gentrification bought the houses up and made us renters. When they raise the rent, we move further from city centers. You can still find us there, diminished numbers. Please remember, the ghetto's in our souls, it never leaves, our spirit lingers. So to the developers and colonizers, we're the people who've been exploited so many years now, and we need to eat too. You leave us starving and wonder why we want to eat you. Cannibalistic, with tendencies so suicidal. Substance abuse, junk food, criminal behavior. Just to name a few of the toxic traits, and we're in danger of losing even more if we don't learn to control our anger. We've already lost so much, our elders might as well be strangers.
On the block, on the block, on the block, on the block, on the block. Watch out, wow, the block hit. When you take to the streets, then you die by the moon. On the block, on the block, on the block, on the block, on the block. Watch out, wow, the block hit. It's kinda insane.
No Company Music Group. I ain't never been the one to be impressed by designer and nice kicks, even though I got a fetish for keeping the flow. Cause where I come from, they be living but die quick. And now I gotta be aware out in public with my. So I focus on my people with my clique, my family and my kids, my money, how I live. Cause it was all good really just a week ago. Now it's a tragedy and we can't even speak to you. So many people selfish now, so let me see it through. Everyone wants loyalty, okay, who you loyal to? I need my queen to compliment and let me spoil you. Build together, both forever living royal proof. Don't hesitate to listen, now I reapply the truth. Reapply poetry, forever I'ma slide with you. And anytime you need a hand, dog, I'm here to ride for you. Every day or every two, I'd be right on the side of you. Be right on the side.
That is Reapplied Poetry featuring D Field. It's called On the Block. Really love that track, man. Like I said, it's one of my favorite tracks of yours.
Oh, thanks, man.
Yeah, but so talk about what it means to be an underground artist, though. I mean, I know you've always sent me music throughout the years that I don't know if you've ever sent me maybe other than when we were kids and it was like hip hop was kind of still in its early phases. but lately, in the past, I don't know, 10, 20 years, I don't know if you've ever sent me anything from a mainstream artist. You always send me music from like underground artists. What does it mean to you to be an underground artist?
I guess it goes in deep pretty far there. It's I don't know. It's not really caring what the trends are dictating. And there are a lot of different directions people are trying to go. Like what sound they want to have, what they want to represent in their music. And I think being an underground artist is just kind of having your own path and not being privy to any of that, and, that sort of that influence from an industry that really has seemed to get worse and worse over the years to try to sway hip hop to be this thing that I never really felt like it was. And now it's like this shiny, glittery, I don't even recognize a lot of what I hear on the radio. I don't listen to the radio much, and when I do, I just don't know what I'm listening to. And I'm not going to talk bad about it. I know like the younger generation is vibing to it, and that's what it's about. But I know that a lot of it is it's not real, and I don't feel like it's realistic. When I say real, I'm not saying like, oh yeah, like you got to be like on some hood thing. I just mean like these people saying these things are not living these things. They're trying to live up to this image that this industry is pushing on it, and it doesn't seem like a viable, sustainable thing to me.
Yeah, no, that comment about it being a glitzy, glamoury thing now, that is certainly not what hip hop was like in its origin. So 100% agree there. When we come forward, we're going to hear more music and continue the conversation with Reapplied Poetry after this news, traffic, and sports update on KBLA Talk 1580.
Areva time is the right time. More of Areva Martin in real time when we come forward.
I'm Trey Thomas. Here's the latest on the Black Information Network. A South Fulton County, Georgia man is heading to prison for trying to kill his baby. Curtis Jack reportedly admitted that he added antifreeze into a newborn child's breast milk. The death of an 8-year-old boy in Hopkins County, Kentucky is reportedly from ingesting fentanyl. According to Atlanta News First, the boy's death originally was believed to be from an allergic reaction to strawberries. A 26-year-old Dearborn, Michigan man is facing charges after driving recklessly and fleeing from police before running out of gas. State police say he drove at speeds of over 140 miles per hour. That's the latest. I'm Trey Thomas on your home for 24/7 news, the Black Information Network, and BINnews.com.
Got a bad wreck in Linwood, 105 freeway westbound past the 710. It's a downed motorcycle. Everything's in the right lane. You're going to be on the brakes back from Bellflower Boulevard. Still big problems in Glendale for the 134 eastbound before Brand. Crash there on the right shoulder. Traffic is stop and go back from Bob Hope. And in downtown Long Beach, don't forget, we've got Shoreline Drive completely shut down. It's the 2024 Long Beach Formula Drift event, a prelude to next weekend's Long Beach Grand Prix.
As humans, we like having options. One option you might like is speaking with a real person when you call about your credit card. With 24/7 live U.S.-based customer service from Discover, everyone can talk to a real person anytime, day or night. Limitations apply. See terms at discover.com/credit card.
This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
There's a possibility the Lakers' loss to Golden State on Tuesday night could be their final home game of the season. The Lakers end the regular season on the road tonight at Memphis and Sunday at New Orleans. Because the Lakers are the 10th seed in the play-in round, they will have to win 2 games on the road just to make the playoffs. Their first play-in game is Tuesday night at Golden State. If the Lakers lose, their season is over. If they win, they'll have to go to either Sacramento or Phoenix to advance. The Clippers will have home court advantage in their first-round series against Dallas. Game 1 is next Saturday, April 20th at Crypto.com. As of Friday morning, USC, the Buffalo Bills, and the San Francisco 49ers, teams that O.J. Simpson played for, have made no comment in a statement or online about Simpson's death. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson. More news, opinions, and conversation when we come forward on KBLA Talk 1580.
Follow the leader. KBLA Talk 1580. Follow the leader.
If you're not following KBLA Talk 1580 on all of our socials, then you're missing out. Download our app and find us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and on the web at KBLA 1580.
That's right.
Again, you can find all of our socials at KBLA 1580.
We've got a lot to talk about.
By the way, if you miss any of our weekday shows in real time, you can always catch up by checking out the podcast of your favorite shows at your leisure. At KBLA Talk 1580, we've got your black.
Got your black. Follow the leader. Oh my God. Follow the leader. Follow the leader. Follow the leader. Follow the leader.
Tips to help improve your credit score in 2024. Establishing credit is an important key to achieving financial health, but building a credit history from scratch can feel challenging since you need credit to build credit. First, what does it mean to build credit? All consumers have a score between 300 and 850. You want your score to be as high as possible as lenders look at your credit score to make loan and credit decisions. A good credit score shows you have a track record of borrowing money responsibly. Remember, it's never too late to build or rebuild your credit. This segment is sponsored by J.P. Morgan Chase & Company.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580 believes in community empowerment. LA's 99 neighborhood councils form the grassroots level of the Los Angeles city government. The system was created to connect LA's diverse communities to City Hall. While neighborhood council board members are volunteers, they are also public officials elected to office by the members of their community. Neighborhood councils advocate on issues like homelessness, housing, land use, emergency preparedness, public safety, parks, transportation, and sustainability. They also provide local expertise on the delivery of city services to their various communities. Neighborhood councils are open to participation by anyone who is a part of the fabric of daily life in said community. This includes those who live, work, or own property or a business. If you are interested in stepping up to join your local neighborhood council, visit www.empowerla.org. That's empowerla.org. It's time to think globally, but act locally. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
This is KBLA Talk 1580. Talk radio. That's music to your ears. We're unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580. You're listening to Areva Martin in real time on KBLA Talk 1580.
Wanna die, but I won't be unprepared for it. Got my affairs in order, live life, won't be scared of it. I'd rather be here for it until my time's so appreciative that I got the chance to give it a shot. That's one of so many get. A healthy amount of regret, I'm working on it. Trauma bonding with the music, reconnected and never expanding. With low demand for the authentic, like the mom and pop shit. Getting forgotten about and absorbed by the conglomerate. Exploitative tactics cannot focus on the masses. No real artist attempts to appeal to them, but maybe a fraction, or maybe just friends and family or our communities. We rock for the love of the art, but the money's apart, we still gotta eat. And we got mouths to feed us about the need to break out and be more than we've ever been with self-expression. See this commodity, it's not just the industry or conspiracy, it's humanity. We gravitate towards disaster, fascinated by the streets.
Hey, what's with the coke, man? Hey, stop swinging that scythe at me, man. Steady on. Yo. I don't wanna die, but I'll be ready when it comes. Still right now I'm alive and I will live it till it's done. Till the sun sets on me, I'll be getting with the fun. With legs still under me and breath there in my lungs, I'll be smooth moving my way, using my best guess. So hunt the day and don't evade or you will get less. Yes, I see you wishing it was less stress, feeling it always a death threat. Let's get together while we're left here. Lecture at minor land, it's not promise, it's an odyssey that's slipping through our hands. You can't grip the sands, quickly twisting, think of a different plan. Sit or stand, do or don't, in or out, still be damned. Damn, I'm not looking for the curtains to drop. I'm still learning a lot, watching my seagrass speak so she can know when she grows. Dad walks a deep road till the day that he goes. Peace, yo.
Die, but won't live life in fear, passing me by, won't run and hide. This is my time, so while I'm here, I'll try and enjoy the ride.
That is, that's Reapplied Poetry. I Don't Want to Die. And we're joined by Reapplied Poetry here. So happy to have you with us. So tell us about that song and how that song came about and who was featured on it.
So that song features an artist that I've worked with a bunch of times from South Africa named Richco. Really beautiful singer, guitarist. He's a nice, really nice guy. Very quick turnaround. Just on it, you give him the idea and he's there. He's like, I got you. And then this British rapper named Nephilim that I've been sort of back and forth with a bunch, and I was like, hey man, I think you might sound good on this. And him too, he got the track. He's like, yeah, it's dope. And really quick turnaround, like, here, this is what I'm feeling. I'm like, that sounds great. Yeah, man, let's put it together. And my boy Sarcasm got all engineered for us. The Merck's Ant lab here in Phoenix, Arizona, man. I get so much done there all the time. He's so quick to just, he's there like, hey, this is what I think we could do. This is what we could try this. And then, it's one of those experiences where, some studios you go to, they're just an engineer. Like, do your thing, I'll record you, and I'll see you later. But Sarcasm, man, the Mercs, they're there from the beginning to the end. And I think they're one of the biggest reasons I'm actually even doing this. They were throwing music my way and just believing in me. Like, hey, you might sound good on this. And I had just kind of a vibe with it. And I feel real blessed to be down with all these people that are real hardworking, independent, just on the grind people, trying to get the job done, like just passionate about music. And I love that. That's how I feel. It's a hobby, right? But I'm passionate. We're passionate. This is not what we do for a living. Me especially, I got other things going on, but music has always been such a big part of my life, and to be around like-minded people, it's a blessing.
Yeah, I'll say you definitely have other things going on. Very successful business out there in Arizona, and I did want to talk to you about what is happening in Arizona with that. Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
So with
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Well, yeah.
Crazy.
How can you not? So with the Supreme Court, the state Supreme Court in Arizona recently deciding that an 1864 law banning all abortions, 0 weeks, 0 week abortion ban there in Arizona. With exceptions for the life of the mother, but we've seen in Texas when there are exceptions to the life of the mother, the state Supreme Court can still deny those claims and make people go out of state to receive life-saving health care. So with you now being an Arizonan, that state has actually been turning more purple and a little bluish. Lately it's got it had 2 Democratic senators before one of them turned crazy and went to be independent, but a Democratic governor now. So what's it like being over there in Arizona?
It's a trip, especially since 2005, things have definitely changed over these last, almost 20 years. And there's still this remnant. When I moved here, we had Sheriff Joe Arpaio.
Oh yeah.
And we don't have that anymore. I don't know. I don't know if we might still have him if he was old, if he was not too old. But there's a lot of people that are just they follow this real archaic way of thinking and being. And it can be rough. And I actually work in an industry where a lot of people on a day to day, if we were to discuss politics, which we don't, it wouldn't go my direction. Like I don't see eye to eye with a lot of people that I have a professional relationship with.
Yeah.
And so I try to not, get too deep into it with them. But yeah, it's a crazy state, and it definitely is turning purple and possibly blue. But we got a long way to go.
Yeah. No, and I'm fortunate to be in a position here where I can have conversations about politics and yell at people if necessary about the things we're talking about. But so I know that it must be, as you said, it's a lot. But what about this scary Carrie Lake person? She ran for governor, lost, tried to make those false election claims like Donald Trump did, and now she's running for senator. She's running for the United States Senate. So, any thoughts on Carrie Lake there in the great state of Arizona?
Yeah, man, scary is the perfect word for her. The way she flip flopped on this abortion thing. You just look at a couple years ago, and she was all for it, and now, for the politics of it, she sees how negative it is for the politics, and she's flip flopped on it. Like, oh no, we should be giving women the choice, but that's not what she was saying. And there's video evidence of it, just like there's evidence of the election being run right. But she's found this way. Trump has sort of set the tone for a lot of people to just say, hey, what's real is not real. Let me tell you what's real. And yeah, that culture is it's definitely far fetched, but it's dug deep, and people are buying into it. It's almost like it's a real easy way for people to just heads I win, tails you lose kind of thing.
Right. Yeah, man, and that's the thing about her flip flop is it's kind of a weird change in people like her, and obviously they still believe the same thing, or they think that it's probably still good for their brand if they believe the same thing. But they also know that they're now also trying to appeal to a wider audience, to a wider electorate, and with her saying, "Oh, we should have Katie Hobbs do something about the election law." Like, woman, you're the one who didn't want who wanted that law to be on the books, and it's not Katie Hobbs' fault that it's in place now. It's you and people like you who advocated for it, and now you see that it's bad politics. You're trying to step away, but I think she's going to lose that race, and I think she may have just handed the state to Joe Biden, but not her specifically, but that law being enacted by the state Supreme Court. I think that's going to be really bad for her and all Republicans down ballot in that state. At least I hope so. But just really crazy that they're really trying to do this, man. That they're really allowing that law, or that they say that law can be enforceable when it was put on the books long before, 40, 50 years before Arizona was even a state. So that is just wild. But when we come forward, though, I do want to hear a couple more of your songs. We're here with Reapplied Poetry, and we will hear more when we come forward right here on KBLA Talk 1580.
She's the real deal in real time. You're listening to Areva Martin in real time on KBLA Talk 1580.
For the ones who work hard to ensure their crew can always go the extra mile, and the ones who get in early so everyone can go home on time, there's Grainger, offering professional-grade supplies backed by product experts so you can quickly and easily find what you need. Plus, you can count on access to a committed team ready to go the extra mile for you. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Sometimes I struggle to get to sleep. My body stopped for the day, but my mind is still running. So I take ZzzQuil.
ZzzQuil, the world's #1 sleep aid brand, has a range of non-habit-forming products to fit you and your family's needs. Invest in a great night's sleep for the best you tomorrow.
I'm awake and ready to take on anything.
Better days start with ZzzQuil nights. Explore our products at ZzzQuil.com. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
We asked seniors how to prevent Medicare scams.
My best advice, if you get a phone call, do not talk to the person. These people are well-trained. Don't talk to them.
They don't know me. They're just trying to scam me.
Don't be fooled. Hang up. Just hang up.
Never give out your Medicare number.
They're going to get your number to put in a false claim.
If I get a call from someone, I don't pick up the phone. And should I pick up the phone and they ask for information, then I hang up.
How do you detect Medicare fraud?
Just like I check my credit card statements, I check my Medicare statements monthly.
Scammers can get a hold of your number, order medical devices through your account, and you're not even going to know about it if you don't look at your statement.
Check your statement every month.
If you get your statement and you see something that you know you did not have done, you report it.
Call your senior Medicare Patrol.
To report Medicare fraud, call the Senior Medicare Patrol at 855-613-7080.
Climate justice, climate equity, climate resilience. By any other name, we demand environmental justice in 2024 and beyond. We're KBLA Talk 1580, and we don't black down.
There are many healthcare organizations serving our community. Not all are dedicated to community partnerships that educate, build trust, inspire hope, and improve outcomes. Providence has a robust community outreach program and has dedicated $50 million over the next 5 years to support organizations addressing health disparities in local communities of color. Examples of this commitment include the Biddy Mason Community Wellness Center on the First AME campus, providing medical screenings, mental health therapy, nutrition, and culturally sensitive holistic classes. The Black Mama's Glow and Peer Support Group that focuses on maternal mental health, birth planning, and social support. Providence is committed to building trusted partnerships with community organizations to better understand and dismantle structural, racial, and cultural barriers to better health. During Minority Health Month, Providence is sponsoring Health for a Better World. Informative conversations with Providence health professionals on Urban Family Focus every Saturday in April at 7 a.m. To find a Providence Health System facility near you, log on to providence.org.
The possibility of lung cancer can be pretty scary, especially if you're one of approximately 8 million current or former smokers at high risk. That's why SaveByTheScan.org wants you to know that now there's a breakthrough low-dose CT scan that can detect lung cancer early, and it only takes 60 seconds. You stop smoking, now start screening. For an easy quiz to see if you're eligible, visit SaveByTheScan.org. It could save your life. SaveByTheScan.org is brought to you by the American Lung Association's Lung Force Initiative and the Ad Council.
There's no time like the present. Let's get back to more of Areva Martin in real time on KBLA Talk 1580.
I got a message from my people. I see you. Whether you're able to see me too will not be held against you. Many of you would never know I'm here, and that's okay, cool. We going about our days with our own priorities to tend to. Running errands in the hustle, some are politicking. Shaking hands and socializing, some are in the kitchen. Cooking up a fresh batch so everyone can listen. I'm in the lab of sarcasm, trying to execute the vision. One day at a time, the building blocks of success are never too hard to find. Wait until the stars align. Strike when the iron's hot or not. The difficulty rises, striving for perfection's unrealistic. Just gotta roll the dice. Amen. I got a message from my people. The world needs you, regardless of the sad facts. So many will up and leave you soon as they can't take any more from you and can't deceive you. I say let them go, you're better without them leeching off of you. I'm not here to judge them, I know enough to see they need to eat too. But they gotta find another source. I hope these words will reach you in good health, making the best of life, cause life will test us like Frankenstein to defeat the strength and airing of grievances. It's not about how we celebrate, only that we don't forget to. At the end of the day, to give thanks is so supplemental, representational of love like rocking an instrumental. One mic and a sound sound system. The world's a stage, I'm bringing it to you. We don't live in the future or the past, we live in the moment, own it. It can hurt, but this too shall pass, and alas, we cannot control it. We can do our best, whatever it takes to motivate, and know it's not always in our hands. When it is, it's our chance to shape and mold it. Change the only constant we encounter. Anyone preaching differently, speaking nonsense, probably a coward. So come on off it. What chaos happening so often is not divine intervention, it's just defense and offense.
It's called Message to the People from Reapplied Poetry, and we are back with Reapplied Poetry. Tell us about that track right there.
Oh, man, that's one of my favorites. Produced by another UK artist, Brutal Caesar. Real good guy, very busy hip-hop artist. Also, brand new father, big shout out to Brutal Caesar from the UK. Yeah, man, I just kind of got started. I get inspired by the music, and it just kind of like, it dictates where I'm going to go with the pen. I just kind of got started. Like, I heard the words, and I kind of riffed off of it, and before I knew it, I formulated the whole idea. And, just kind of, again, just speaking about life, reality. I'm trying to come from a positive place that to reflect where I am in my life, but also to sort of, explain what I've seen and, what I've experienced as well.
Yeah, man. That's real. That's real. I mean, that's what you should do. And it's not, as you said earlier, trying to be like some trend or some industry standard. You're just keeping it real with your experience. And I think that's what hip hop has always been beautiful, because people are talking about their experience and telling it in a real way. And obviously with with some dope beats and some bars, but it's that's what hip hop should be, is people talking about their experience. I'm just gonna real quick check on some of these YouTube comments. On the Clock at the Foundry hating on the Beastie Boys. On the Clock at the Foundry always got some negative to say. I found, and that we're Jewish, so of course we're gonna like the Beastie Boys, man. So, but anyway, long ass YouTube name. Always got some negative to say. But Howard Graves still hanging out with us. Holistic, talking about Holistic talking something about how Biden is bad for black people. So listen, Holistic, I don't know what tip you're on. This is based on a conversation before you were on Reapplied, but
for sure.
Right. And so Holistic, if you want to talk about Joe Biden being bad for black people, let's have that conversation. We're not going to have it right now because the show's almost over and we're going to get to one more Reapplied track. But do me a favor and call in next week, and we will have that conversation in full. Because if you think that Trump and the people voting for him, the ones wearing swastikas and bringing Confederate flags to his rallies, are better for black people than Joe Biden, who has had the best climate impact of any president, who has helped eliminate child poverty and done so many other things that are too numerous to name right now, then and you want to talk about I don't know what you're talking about, bro, but anyway, yeah, he said he said Trump 2024. Yeah, he's a Trumper. But yeah, exactly. So and he got a Trumper with the name Holistic. I mean, what's the deal with that? That don't even make sense.
Rough.
So anyway, yeah, and you want to come at our boy Howard? That's not going to stand around here. We got Howard's back. So anyway, back to the conversation with Reapplied. Just wrapping up, man. I know you talked about the Beastie Boys, and certainly they got hits, and but who else? Either while you were growing up or kind of in your more recent years, or as you were kind of leading up to dropping your first album, any artists in particular or groups in particular that you were really kind of just stuck in your mind?
Yeah, absolutely. I think some big inspirations for me. Local LA guys, Dilated Peoples, of course.
Mm-hmm.
And in fact, that last track, apparently they used that same sample in a bonus track on one of their albums recently. And it's funny because I own that album like on vinyl, and I bought the CD because the CD comes with like a set of photos that I wanted, like a collectible. And I never had that track until, I don't know, years later. it turns out that they have this bonus track featuring all these dope artists, and it's on that same sample. So I remember when I heard that, I was like, oh man, I gotta rock this. That'd be an honor to be on something that they're on. So yeah, those guys. There's Brother Ali. I'm big on Brother Ali. You know, I feel like my top 5 is very like Rhymesayers heavy.
Mm-hmm.
I love that label. But I mean, Immortal Technique has been big. There's this guy, Terminology, I love a lot. Just, I mean, people that are saying some things that it may not be something I can relate to always, but something that I know is not some kind of fraudulent thing, that they're not trying to speak to a group of people and, you know, like perpetuate nonsense. Like they're trying to also inspire people to be real. Like I heard an interview with Immortal Technique saying, hey, you know, if you want to rap about like selling crack, why don't you tell me about what it's like to sell crack to a pregnant lady in your neighborhood, or, you know, something like that, which is, you know, like it's rough, you know. These guys are, if you want, let's talk about the reality of it, not just the glamour of it, because there's this other side of it, and that's what I want to hear. And I feel like that's so real. That's really something that I connect with, and someone who can say, even if I can't relate to it, if I can understand their story and hear what they're feeling, what they're going through, and, you know, be part of their world, even for that moment. I've been connected to a lot of independent artists out here, and there's too many to name.
Well, that was good. I mean, Dilated Peoples, I love them. Immortal Technique's got some great tracks too. One, Leaving the Past, always comes to mind when I think of Immortal Technique. That's a great track, guys. Before we get out of here, we're gonna get out of here on this song of yours called "Stop Running." So go ahead and introduce us to this one, and how we can keep up with you and where we can find your music.
Yeah, for sure. So anywhere you stream music, you can look up Reapply Poetry. I'm on any streaming platform. And this next track is something that I was feeling like I go through. Well, for a while I was going through BeatStars and just finding stuff that I could connect with. And I think for my next few projects, I'm going to be working with specific producers. But BeatStars is nice, man, for the independent artists. There's this worldwide collection of people that there's just so much music, whatever you can connect to. You know, you can lease that for, you know, $25, $50 or whatever, rock it. And, you know, we grew up, you know, listening to singles and trying to rock the instrumental that would be on the back of the tape. But, like, shy of that, you know, you've got $25, $50, you can support an independent artist and get something that you can kind of make your own. And I met this one dude off of there that has kind of a commercial, radio-friendly sound on a few of these tracks that I got from him. But the result is, I like it a lot. It's my work with something that's a lot more accessible to a lot of people. And you'll hear it in the song. It's pretty radio friendly. It's got this sound, kind of an upbeat sound, but it's, you know, it's still me and my life.
Yes,
so
sir.
I'm proud to present still running.
All right, and on the other side it'll be Robin Ayers with the Raw Report. Have a great weekend. Thanks so much for joining us, Reapplied. And I'm Avi Bernard, and I am gone.
Table, let it circulate.
KBLA 1580 Santa Monica.
I'm Trey Thomas. Here's the latest on the Black Information Network. A former Chicago public school student is suing the district over allegations that a former top school administrator at Little Village Lawndale High School